I saw indeed. We the top 10, UGK the major, way not play it don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time until the clock hit. Hands on roll, we doing digi to the whole block clear. Yo, what you got there? Oh, did you not hear? Indies taking over and we got the...
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. And shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm just force gumping my way through this existence, kind of blundering my way to success. I'm Eric. This is John.
Hello.
You're watching and listening and/or listening to the PHP Ugly Podcast, a weekly podcast that focuses on the PHP programming language, its surrounding community, and our fantastic company, PHPTek. We stream every Thursday around 3 p.m. Pacific time, and you too can be part of that stream by joining us in our Discord at discord.phpugly.com. You can suggest show titles, talk to the people in there, hang out in there all week. Great group of people. Matter of fact, key people who bring value not only to the show, but to your existence as a PHP developer are in there. So hang out in there. We would like to thank our sponsors, honeybadger.io, and our fantastic and beautiful supporters on Patreon. We'll talk about all of them a little later. But for now, let's get on with the show, I think.
Which episode is it?
399!
Holy cow.
What the hell?
That's a lot of shows. That's
you know what? I am officially saying we are the longest continually running PHP podcast. Anybody want to fight me over that? Come on, bring it at me.
Again, there's actual proof.
I'm pretty sure nobody else has done 399 episodes yet. And we're not even counting the other podcasts we do, like PHP Roundtable and PHP Architect podcast. No, that's just PHP Ugly. 399. So you Laravel News guys, yeah, they don't count as one. They're two different podcasts.
Dude, we've been doing it too long.
It really had.
Maybe everyone else had stopped at like 100 or 150. Maybe they're just smart and we're not.
This is true. I mean, I definitely had a burnout for a long time where I was ready to. I was just struggling to do it every week.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely have bounced back. It was weird because when we first started, there was like no rhyme or reason when we recorded. We just just recorded, and then all of a sudden we kind of got a cadence going, and have been doing that for a while now.
Yep.
So yeah, next week. So I got a suggestion for next week. I assume we're recording next week.
I don't see any reason why we're not.
Or no, that's too far in the future. I was about to say, if there happened to be an event that we're going to be at soon, we could just skip a week and just record the 400th episode at the event, but it's just too far away. So yeah, probably not. So I have a suggestion for 400 because I was talking to the current wife and I was saying how much I like the 3:00 time slot that we record in, because I'm not tired. I'm not wishing that I didn't have to record so I could go to bed or anything like that. It's nice to get it done. I don't feel rush after the show to get the show out so much. So I like it. But I told her, I'm like, John just doesn't like it when I'm drunk at 3:00 on a Thursday afternoon. And I do kind of miss that a little bit. Like, it was my scotch time to drink. So she suggested, and I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Well, initially she suggested, well, your next show is the 400th episode. Maybe you guys just do a PHP Ugly late night show for your 400th. And then that kind of evolved of maybe you guys have PHP Ugly late night once a month or once every couple of months, so that other people who can't watch us live anymore have an opportunity to watch us live again. And I'm like,
I got a little issue with that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Do you?
Yeah.
Are you not back by 9?
Nope.
How messed up do you all get bowling?
Oh, last week?
Yeah.
Oh, I was bad.
See, this is what I'm saying. We need that bad here, John. We need it here.
All right. For those that don't know, I joined a bowling league for the first time in 12 plus years, maybe 13, 14 years. That is on Thursday nights. And yeah, last week I drank a little bit.
That's not like. Except I confidence. Yeah, maybe we do a little day drinking next week. I don't know.
You want me to be pre-primed for bowling? Okay, I like it. I can do that. Prime the pumps.
Come to the lanes all slush.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think we should at very least have a celebratory drink for 400. Like, that's a lot of shows. The next century mark is 500. And you figure 52 weeks a year, we don't record every week. We're looking at a couple more years and we hit 500. So yeah, that's pretty neat.
500
we doing
in
2026?
We're gonna find out.
All of a sudden, you're gonna find somebody like recording every day for a year just to catch up with us.
Yep. And once they do, I'm done. I'm like, I can't do that. Well, are they doing it every day for an hour a year, or can they just knock out a 5-minute show and call it
it would have to at least be an hour. And you have streamers that really kind of do that, right? Like, you have streamers who stream all day and do that. But yeah, no, it would have to. You can't do like a hot take 5-minute podcast and just do like 50 of those in one sitting and be done with it. There are rules. There are rules to these records, and I'm making them up as we go along to make sure we don't get dethroned.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I can't believe it's 400. That's insane.
Oh, it feels so good. Yeah.
I appreciate all of you that are watching and listening. It's because of you that make this possible.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That is 100% sure. Shutter, when Joe Rogan starts talking about PHP, you let me know, and then I'll count his 900 as a record. But until then, he's just Joe Rogan talking to his friends.
And he lost his marbles way before 900.
Yeah. Yeah. How's your week, John?
Oh, my week's been pretty good. Staying very busy, getting a lot of stuff done. We've had some good, uh, lots of interviews, lots of
Oh my
talking with
gosh,
people.
so many interviews this past week.
Hiring just a little contract position, get a little task done for us. Um, but yeah, it's nice. It's been a good week. Nothing really outstanding. Nothing that comes to mind other than getting tasks done. Integrated with a new API because I didn't get the emails like, "Hey, we're sunsetting this feature." It finally got onto my task list at last week, and they are sunsetting the old API at the end of this month. So it's been a like scramble, get it done, and then so it's a HubSpot API, and it's about getting recordings connected to your contact in HubSpot. The old way was I just sent a URL with the payload. Hey, here's the URL to the recording. They've gone and made it much more difficult in the eyes of security. So what they are now doing is I have to register a webhook with HubSpot. When a call is completed that is recorded, I have to give them some metadata about it. And then I have to hit another API to say, hey, the recording is ready. When the person goes to their HubSpot account and clicks play, they hit us with the webhook. And this is where the documentation fell short. They weren't clear on exactly what I was supposed to send back because they're like, we only accept WAV files. It has to be an octet stream and a couple other things. So I'm like, okay, they're hitting my endpoint. I just send them the stream. I test all that and it's all working, but not from the HubSpot UI. And of course, you get to these mega companies and you try to contact support, and they're like, oh, why don't you contact us in Slack, or you can send us an email, or you can probably pay for higher support, which I didn't do. And of course, nobody in Slack helped because it's just a community thing, and they're not as awesome as the PHP Ugly Slack. It's more of people going there.
Doesn't have a Slack. We have a Discord.
Oh yeah, Discord
by itself
right.
is better.
Exactly. So I go there, and of course, you're just asking questions into the ether, and I did a search before I asked. I tried to be respectful, but nobody had an answer in the past. Long story short, yeah, when they hit the webhook, they weren't looking for the stream at that point. They were looking for a URL to the stream.
Oh, small difference there.
Yeah. And the problem with their documentation was where they put the URLs, they use the same URL, and that doesn't work. Like if I just gave you the URL back to the webhook, it would be a infinite loop. Dummies.
Yeah. Oh man.
Anyway,
yeah.
Good week.
Yeah, lots of interviews, some interesting people to talk to. It's always fun to see how other groups manage things, and to John's point, we were looking for somebody to take to take care of a very small task that our developers didn't have time to work on. It's really just like this one-off thing. So I sent something out on X. If you follow me on X, you saw me asking for a capacitor plugin or capacitor developer, and that's who we've been interviewing all week. And man, that was a lot of fun. But I think we've got it nailed down to a developer now. We're really excited because it was we all kind of agree that this was the person. Like, oh yeah, this is the person we want. So we need to kind of dot some T's and cross some I's. But once we get that, I need to tell the other
order too.
50 people we interviewed that thanks, but no thanks. If you're listening to this podcast and I didn't talk to you today, hang on. There's still a chance, but really you probably didn't get the position. I'm sorry.
That's one way to let people know.
I did my deed. I'm like, hey, just listen to PHP Ugly at this mark, and let me know if you have any questions.
There you
But
go.
yeah, dude got deep in development this week, which I love. But like you actually broke me out of it today. Well, our
I'm
client.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. It was good because I totally thought it was Friday, and I thought the day was almost over, and it was Thursday. And John's like, we got to record a podcast, right? Like, oh shit. But yeah, no, our client actually broke me out of it, and it was my fault because I was buried in code yesterday, maybe the day before. Now that I think about it, and so I hadn't been like. Normally, I reach out to our client and just like touch base on a couple topics, and I hadn't done any of that in a couple days. So I just like opened my eyes after they reached out to me, and all of a sudden, like there are all these things that I needed to like quickly address. And hey, you talk to this person, you talk to that person, we'll do this and we'll do that, and yeah, but it was fine. I needed to break the flow. Anyways, I would have kind of pushed through. I honestly probably would have missed the podcast today, not even thinking about it. And that
I would have got a hold of you somehow.
So I got questions for you. First thing, you know me, I am like one of the worst developers on our team, and I have obsessions about certain patterns that I like to use. And so I have a question for you. So I've been doing a bunch of refactoring of a feature in our monolith application, and I reluctantly am doing it because I hate this code base, and it's too easy to trip other people up in it. But this feature was a standalone feature of this new API endpoint. So I felt okay. I'm feeling a little comfortable going in here and doing some refactoring, and it was really meant to be very simple.
Until you got a hold of it.
It should have been very simple. Like the very initial requirement was to ping Honey Badger. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine. I'll ping him. Yeah, I can do that. And then our client comes back and goes, oh, by the way, our customer has been using this service for the last month without the API endpoint in place. So when it goes live, we need to backfill all the requests that they already have in our system. I'm like, okay, simple. So what I'll do is I'll just go through the databases, and there's a lot of relationships, so it's not like super simple of looking at one table. But I'll go through the databases. I'll find out which services or which orders have been queued up, and I'll just make a call to the service. And it was at that point that things went off the hinges, because I reached out to the original developer. I'm like, hey, can you walk me through all the database tables you touch for this? Because I need to create this job. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, and we're talking about, like, you know what? I'm like, I have very little faith in this API endpoint. Matter of fact, I can see this API endpoint like being gone for an entire weekend. And our client needs their customer to be able to continue to process orders. So I'm like, you know what, Michael was the guy I was working with. I'm like, you know what, Michael, I need to think of a way so that even if the API endpoint goes away, that I can continue to do this. And then Michael had the best idea, which is, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we make it part of the initial call? And if the API endpoint isn't there or isn't responding, then you can create another table and store that, and then just write a job that goes through that table. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Let me do that. And so that's what I've been coding the last couple of days. And like I said, I go off the hinges. I'm like, oh yeah, let me just add this, and you know what? I'm going to abstract this away. I'm going to do this. Oh, you know what? This really needs to be an interface. Let me make this an interface, and there was a lot of coding.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
So instead of making the API request at the beginning, seeing if it fails, and doing all that, why not just shove that API request into a job? If the job fails, just requeue it and just let it sit there. Why do you need to go through all the extra hassle of adding to a database table, having a job that checks that database table? Because then you get the benefit of a back off strategy, right? I tried, it failed. I'm going to try again in 10 minutes. It failed. I'll try again in an hour, whatever your back off strategy is. But then it just will sit there and crunch through.
Let me think about that a little bit. That might not be a terrible approach.
It depends on what you're using for your queues. Like if you're worried about losing data and the queue is in memory, or the queue is temporary, if the service dies, do you lose the data? That might be an issue, but probably not enough to worry about. So just a suggestion.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion. I'll have to think about that. The funny thing is, after I do all this, and I have some coding practices that I want to ask you about as well, but as I'm coming across the finish line and I do all my refactoring of all the existing code that's already in place, I'm like, okay, I need to work on this job. I'm like, cool. So I'll just look at this table and I'll pull it. So you would love me, John. I even serialized the original request so I could store it and unserialize it. I didn't do a JSON or anything weird like that. And I'm like, John is going to be so happy. But I'm like, okay, so I'll run through this table. I'll get all the failed jobs and I'll just try again. Okay, so I remember one of the reasons why a queue might not work, but we can talk about that. It's not that important. So I'm getting ready to write that job, and I realized something. The original objective was to go through all the existing fucking queued up things. And I'm like, fuck, I still got to figure out the table relationship because I still have to do that part. Damn
it. That's funny.
So that sucks.
Yeah. The only reason I had that thought is it's kind of what I had to do for the HubSpot thing I was talking about, where when I need to mark the job ready, there's like two things happening, and I need one to finish first before the other, but I can't have that one fire the job. And I forget why. There was some oddity there. So, because there's an initial call to HubSpot to create the data while the audio is being put up on S3. So there's two separate jobs. Mm-hmm. When the S3 one finishes, it's the one that creates the job to say, hey, go mark the recording ready. But if the other job hasn't put the recording up there, it's not going to work. So I have that job look to see, do I have this ID that I need in the database? If not, back off, sleep for 5 minutes, try again. So similar in a way.
Yeah, I'll have to revisit. The one thing we were talking about was customizing how often we decide to retry. Like, do we say, hey, we're going to try 5 times and give up, or 10 times and give up? And right now it's just one external service, but we were talking about making it customizable so that if other services came on, we could throttle that differently. But I really don't think it's that important. We can probably just still all do it through queues. I need to I really need to think about that, because that's probably, now that I got all the coding done, a better approach. If I'm being quite honest here. So question for you though, because I've been trying to get better with my coding practices, And I'm trying to do more try catches, right? So initially you and I forgot what we had talked about it, but you told me there was like a if else, which I hate if else's, that I was trying to refactor, and you had said, well, don't go down the happy path first, see if there's an issue, and then if there's not an issue, you continue on the happy path, right?
Guard clauses, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I like that idea. But then I'm like, you know what? I really kind of want to do try catches, right? Because I didn't want to, because what I was doing before, or what the developer was doing before, was if something broke, if it didn't work, they were throwing an exception, which is fine. But because I was abstracting things away, and I needed this to run at this other job where it would be in like a for each loop, I didn't want to throw an exception. I wanted just to do a try catch. Like, okay, something happens. If it doesn't work, catch it, do something, but continue on,
Mm-hmm.
So
that makes sense. Right.
All right. So you got the basic principle. I have a try catch. Now, the part that's in the try, right? The try part, I don't even need to go there if a certain condition isn't met. So my dilemma was, do I put the if statement that looks for that guard, do I put the if statement outside the try catch and have the try catch like inside an if statement? Or do I put the if statement inside the try catch? But then I'm like, okay, I'm hitting a try catch that I really don't even need to hit.
Right. The answer is it depends, like always. So you're in a loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inside the loop, are you doing more after the try catch that you need to do, even with the if clause?
No.
So,
actually, yeah, the try part would be everything I need to have done.
So what I would do is for each or while or whatever, guard clause. So if not set, or if whatever condition isn't met where you don't need to go into the try catch, continue. And then it just goes to the next one.
So you put the try catch inside the if statement?
No. So for each, guard clause. So if not whatever, or whatever is causing you not to need the try catch.
Mm-hmm.
So if this condition where I don't need to go into the try catch is met, continue. That's it. It's a 3-line guard clause.
Wait. I'm sorry. That's our problem. It's the for each is, so this is an abstracted away method. So the for each isn't in this method. The for each is happening in calling it.
Oh, then return. Again, it depends on what you're in, but
okay. So you would do the if statement, and if the bad path is met, you would just return out.
Right, assuming it's a void method. If
Yeah,
there's nothing else to be done, so I put my guard clauses first. If I can get out of the method faster, I do it. Like, I don't need to be here anymore. Get out. Then I have all the code at the bottom. There will be my try catch.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I like that. I like that approach. All right. I'll have to do some refactoring.
Guard clauses are awesome. Use them all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give that a shot. Yeah, because like the way I was doing, like neither approach with that, what I was doing with the if statement, like they both didn't feel right. Like they both like, that doesn't look right. And then I'd bring it inside the try and like, well, that just feels bad too.
Yep. Yeah. Like Awood says, the guard clause, sometimes called early return. Again, that's what I use all the time. Early return is usually done at the top of the function. Just get out of there if you don't need it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to do some more refactoring. Yeah.
All right. I got something else to talk about. Somehow we completely skipped last week. I really don't know how we did that.
We got some dicey things to talk about this week, but
We-
let's
we
talk
do.
about good stuff first.
Yeah, we'll get to that. PHPTek coming up in May 20th through the 22nd. The call for speakers is currently open. We are looking for presenters. This goes for writing for the magazine as well. If you have anything that you would like to share with the community as at large, it could be personal story of triumph. You learned something new, you want to share it. It could be about a library that you've just implemented that you're excited about and you think other people would benefit from. Sky's the limit. Security issues, event sourcing, database stuff, NoSQL, SQL, whatever you want to talk about. Go to phptech.io/speakers and submit.
When are we wrapping that up this year?
I think we have it set to November 15th currently. But if you are chosen to speak, you get a ticket to the conference.
No.
If you need, airfare and hotel will be covered. Sometimes your company would pay for it, which we highly appreciate because we're a very small conference. We don't make money on it. Lunches, after parties, all that stuff's covered. Come be a part of PHPTek.
Cool. I'm excited. I haven't even looked at it. Have you looked? Have you looked how many we have?
Yes. How many submissions we have?
Yeah.
We are. I think we're on track with last year. We have. I think I want to say around 70 individual speakers, and then they've all submitted 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I like
submissions.
to not look until after the. So the way we do our first round of kind of evaluation is everybody at PHP Architect does a blind, what's it called, a blind read or
Review.
blind review, yeah.
Evaluation. Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't know who submitted it. It's just the topic and whatever other information is in there, kind of a synopsis of what it is. And if that appeals to them, then they rate like how likely they would go to watch that talk. So all my friends out there who are like, yeah, I'll just tell me what to submit. I'm like, yeah, just submit something, dude, because I don't have like control over the first round. And
I get that all the time too.
Yeah.
What should I talk about? I'm like, I don't. The whole point is we want to know what you want to talk about.
So yeah, it's kind of an easy out for like me because it's like, because if I look at it like, and I know enough people in the community, I'm like, oh, I want them there, I want them there, I want them there. And then all of a sudden I'm like naturally biased to their talks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's an easy kind of, okay, I haven't looked at anything yet, so I don't know. I'm sorry if you didn't get picked and all that. But yeah, make sure you submit. You'd be surprised. We've quite a few people from our ugly community have presented. So yeah. See Money, I'm looking at you. I'm expecting to talk from you, See Money.
Yep.
Let's go.
And if you want to be part of the evaluation process, it does take time. It's not a sit down and get it done really quick.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But if you want to help us out with selecting talks, hit me up on Discord and we will let you be part of it. And as a thank you, we will give you a discounted ticket to Tech if you're not selected.
Yeah, I forgot we did that last year. We had our community help us. So yeah, be part of that initial selection. It really helps a ton because it gives us a nice wide scope of people who are looking at our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got some spicy things to talk about, and then I got a kind of a thing to talk about.
Well, why don't we thank Honey Badger first?
Look at you! You didn't even message me this time. Fine, whatever.
I did not. Which
one do I go with? I'm gonna go with this one.
Side events in the context of application logs and observability.
I did that one last week.
Splunk-like querying without having to sell my kidneys? Nice. That's a direct quote from someone who just saw Honey Badger Insights, the new observability tool from the folks at honeybadger.io. Insights is a fresh approach to logging, performance monitoring, and observability. It's a bit like Splunk, Datadog, or CloudWatch Logs, but with just the good parts and a reasonable price tag. Honeybadger helps you gain deeper visibility into what's happening inside your applications, letting you drill down into the details and step back to see patterns in your data. You'll love how easy it is to query your logs and events and create quick charts and dashboards. The best part is that it's available on Honeybadger's free tier as part of their comprehensive monitoring suite, which includes error tracking, uptime monitoring, status pages, and more. Get started for free, then pay as you grow, or choose a 30-day free trial to unlock the full power of Honeybadger right away. To get started, visit honeybadger.io/plans. That's honeybadger.io/plans.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
Honeybadger.
All right.
All right. So
let's
first thing I want to talk about.
All right.
Friend of the show, speaker at PHPTek, all around great person. Danger Casey wrote an interesting article called "Kill Your SDKs Before They Kill You." Great read.
Seems a little dramatic.
Yeah. I mean, he has a good point. We often, as API developers, we write this API and then we're like, oh, I want to make it easy for my users to use my API. But then you have to keep up with what languages do I use? What frameworks do I code for? Like there's so, and then by the time you decide all that, now all of a sudden your API's changed and you need to change your SDK to match.
Yeah.
My favorite quote in here is under the risks of today's SDKs, where he says, then we have the developer side where we're inserting libraries and their dependencies and their dependencies and their dependencies. So you get that dependency cycle into our systems. While we say we reviewed them, we haven't. While we say they're from trusted sources, we don't know. While we think they're okay license-wise, we haven't checked. Our supply chain could be compromised, but we have to count on tooling to tell us. So how often do we include a library because we trust it or we think we trust it, or it's got the most stars on GitHub or packages?
Or worse, to his point, it's not even the libraries we include, it's the libraries of libraries, right?
Right. It's that dependency nightmare. So just overall good read. I read that part and just chuckled because it's so true. We want to believe that the libraries we use are safe, but if you look at your Composer lock file, the number of dependencies that are in there that you had no clue were in there is astounding. And then, like you said, one of those gets compromised, it goes out to the wild, and you never know.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern with frameworks in general. It's like I got no question that the Laravel team are great at what they do and they're writing good code, but they have dependencies and dependencies, and it just kind of goes down this dirty path. So yeah, I get it.
So good read. Thank you, Danger.
I have a package that came across my news feed, not my nude feed. That's a completely different feed altogether. You guys don't need to know about that one. But my news feed, if you're in the Laravel community and you've been using any recent version of Laravel, you probably have gotten fairly used to the Laravel HTTP client, which is this great wrapper around Guzzle. And if you haven't, or if you aren't a Laravel person, you kind of know, like, working with Guzzle can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. Finally, there's a package out there that I haven't used because I mainly do Laravel stuff, but like reading through it, I'm like, okay, this looks very much like Laravel. It's called FetchPHP, and it's just another wrapper around Guzzle. And it just makes for a very, very nice and clean interface on how you do things. And not knocking Guzzle. The team, the maintainers that developed Guzzle doing a great job, but it is a little clunky to work with. And once you figure it out, you kind of reuse the same methods of how you do something, but this fetch just has just like such a nice little interface to it. And this is something we've had in the Laravel code base for a while as HTTP, and it's so valuable. It's so valuable to have. So if you do a lot of API calls, or you have any reason you need to reach out to other URLs, give this fetch a look and let me know what you think and how well it works, because I'd be really curious to find out. I keep thinking I'm going to do something real quick and test it, but then I don't.
That's where it gets tricky. It's like, just use Guzzle. And here's my reasoning.
Okay.
Unless I'm missing something, I have not looked at this. How do you do testing with it? Where with Guzzle, I can inject a mock of Guzzle and do what I need to do.
That's a good fair question. I don't know how to do testing. I see error handling. I don't see anything testing on here. Should have thought to look that up, because I know how you are. You're really weird about that stuff.
Really? No, once you get in that mindset of how can I test this without needing to call the actual API, then you realize there seems to be a shortcoming here. They're injecting a global function, and you really can't, without jumping through hoops, you can't change that. I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could create your own fetch function as a mock before you call autoload, because I would assume they have if function exists before they do it, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I would have to figure that out. I'm curious. Oh no, never mind. Not going to go there yet. Don't want to spoil things yet. You ready for a hot take?
Of course.
I'm gonna give you a hot take. I got a preference as hot take. I am a well-documented fan of Caleb Porgio in his Livewire and his Alpine JS. Matter of fact, we've been sponsors of the Livewire repo. PHPTek has. So, I put my money where my mouth is, and I did that here as well. So Flux was released, and I purchased. They were offering a lifetime license, which I want to talk about this licensing model a little bit at some point. But there's a single project license at $129, and there's an unlimited lifetime one for $279. Wait, is this buy forever? Yeah, the $279 one. I'll talk about this here in a minute. That's not my hot take. Here's my hot take. For anybody who wants to know my opinion of this, first off, huge fan of Livewire. Bought a lifetime license for Flux, so I've already paid my dues for this. Fantastic for Caleb. I'm a little underwhelmed. I gotta be real honest with you.
Oh, really?
I'm a little underwhelmed by it. I mean, it's great. Like, it's great for what it is, but it's just another component library. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, maybe there are hooks that tie into Livewire a little cleaner, but it's just like it's another component library. It's fine. And if you work on Livewire in and out every day, I'm positive you'll save your money's worth for the license you buy to use these components. Because, I mean, even at the unlimited $279 tier, right? I mean, you can do your own math in your head, how much you charge an hour to do work and how many hours would you have to save to make that cost up. It really isn't that hard to get to that cost. But I don't know. I mean, just in general, like I said, I'm not disappointed. I haven't even used any of it yet, because it's just like, all right, it's another component library. We we signed on with Tailwind. Tailwind CSS, what's it? Tailwind CSS, Tailwind CSS type. And when Adam did his component library for Tailwind, which is Tailwind UI, we signed on with that. And I use that all the time. I don't even remember what license we bought with this. I think we might even still be paying yearly. I don't know if he even offered a lifetime license with this. Maybe he did. But I use this all the time. So I have no reservations about that. This one, I just don't know. I mean, maybe once I start using it, it'll be a different story.
Do you think you feel that? Do you think you feel that way because you already have Tailwind UI? Like, if you didn't have
absolutely.
that, then you'd feel different.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Tailwind UI definitely has a lot more components. And this is where I was going with this. It's like, and Tailwind UI is a cost as well. So I started kind of down this path because there's so many free services out there that have component libraries now for Tailwind. And I actually found one for the Tall Stack as well, which is this tallstackui.com. All this will be in our show notes for anybody who's listening. I found that one as well, which is like, oh, these look pretty good, and they're all open source. There's just like a whole list of them. I'm not gonna go through all the different component libraries I came across that you didn't have to pay for. If you're in our Discord, it'll be popping in here in a second. If you're listening to the podcast, it will come up. It'll come up in the show notes as well. But I guess my point being is, if you don't make money coding, don't feel bad about not giving some people money for their paid version of something that's out there for free. If you do get paid to code, then you can do the math yourself. I don't discourage you from doing it, because I think as a developer, being able to have other developers make a living is worth it. Mm-hmm. And I definitely think there's this like this pattern in certain communities where it's like something gets released and everybody just wants to buy it because that's what everybody's buying in the community. It's like an Apple sort of kind of thing, right? It's like, oh, Apple did the Google could release their digital watch years before, and it kind of barely, like limps along for a couple of years, and Apple releases theirs, which has like a quarter of the features, and people just go ape shit over it, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's that like thing. So there's that. So don't feel bad if you can't afford it. You shouldn't, push yourself if you don't. There's plenty of solutions out there. But yeah, as far as Flux goes, I'm hoping to use it. Haven't used it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'll keep talking about it in the future. But I do want to talk about pricing. So here's my concern. Okay, so I did jump on the bandwagon of the lifetime pricing because, like I said, if I was going to use it, I knew I was going to use it for more than one project. If you're going to use it for more than one project, it quickly just makes sense to go with the unlimited one.
Unlimited and free updates forever.
Unlimited, right? So that forever part is what we're going to focus on. So this right now it's 44% off, which again, do the math. Let's say that 1,000 people bought this. I need easy math, right? I need easy math. So let's say 1,000 people bought this. Well, Caleb all of a sudden had an influx of over $250,000 into his bank account, which sounds great, right? It sounds fantastic. But the problem is those 1,000 people are never paying him again. Like they have no reason to send him any more money. So now that 1,000 people next year, well, you're not making $250,000. You're making about,
you need more people than that, right?
Well, no, I'm saying like the 1,000 people, like say 1,000 people bought this. Is my math wrong? If
1,000.
1,000
No, you're
people,
right. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
right. So if 1,000 people bought this at $279, you're at $279,000 of money. Well, next year that 1,000 people is not going to be that anymore. That'll be cut in half. And the next year it'll be even lower. And what you're going to end up with is the $279 I paid, you really didn't make that money because, like, in 5 years, I mean, you can do the math, but in 5 years, all of a sudden, it's not that much in your bank account anymore, assuming you're even good with business and you're good with managing money and you're able to carry that stuff carry that stuff for a while. I can almost assure you what's going to happen. I'm not saying there's been any talk about this, and I might be wrong. You know what? I might be wrong, but Tailwind CSS components might have done this. Anyways, what's going to happen is this unlimited projects, free updates forever, blah, blah, blah stuff. It includes 26 plus components, all this stuff, and like I would say a 3 to 5 year time frame. All of a sudden, there'll be like these premium components or these special package components that aren't included anymore. There's nothing different about those components to these components. It was just, they'll be packaged a little different or they'll be premium, and all of a sudden and you end up with this like I would feel like this dirty little model of, okay, I have this unlimited free version that's not really unlimited. It's limited to what's everything is now. But this I need you to pay a little extra because I had to put more work into this. I think that's my point. It's like, what's it going to take to maintain this, and what's it going to take for you to continue to grow it?
It depends on what he does with the pricing model in the next few months, 6 months. It may be like that says it's a launch discount right now, where whoever buys now, you're grandfathered in, and then in 6 months, it's no longer free updates forever. It's $279 a year. I think he has $500 on there. Maybe he'll stick at $500 for a lifetime. It doesn't change what you said at that point, but there is that possibility.
Yeah. So I hope all the best for him. I hope he's going to be successful.
You have our money.
He's just you have our money already. So please make it work. But he's a fantastic developer. My gripe now is I saw these components. I'm like, wait a minute, you haven't been fucking working on Livewire because you've been working on this shit? Come on, man. I need Livewire to move forward.
Question for you.
You know what I mean?
I'm moving on from that. What's your take on MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee?
I like the guy.
Who doesn't like the guy? He's awesome, right?
He seems legit. Yeah, I mean, he seems honest. He doesn't let Apple slide like a lot of reviewers do. And yeah, I like that.
Oh man, he is under fire right now.
What? Who cannot like him?
He's got a lot of people pissed off at him right now. He released an app, and it's not a cheap app. It's called Panels. You're paying upwards of $12 a month. So, put that on par with your Spotify's, Netflix, Disney,
True.
All those streaming services. All it is wallpaper. You can download wallpaper.
Oh, really?
Who is paying $12 a month to have wallpaper on their phone?
On their phone? Like, yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't have pictures of their kids or family or pets or something like $12 a month? And
so wait a minute. I'm sorry.
And that $12 a month is with ads. And
what?
People are saying it's a terrible experience. Oh no, wait. I lied. No, I lied. There's a free version with ads.
Okay.
Or $12 a month. And I think there's also an annual subscription. Oh yeah, $50.
There's a $50 a year. So let me ask this. I understand why people might be upset about this. I get it. But he's a pretty straightforward, above table guy. Is part of the complaint was we thought this was something different?
I don't know. I think everyone's saying it's did they say React Native? I saw someone made a comment of, wow, you're releasing it on iOS and Android at the same time. You're elite. And he goes, it's no small feat, my friend, or something like that. And then somebody responded, it's a React Native app. It's not like you put all this work into it. It's not like you have a team of iOS developers and a team of Android developers building this native app. And again, I love the guy's content, but $12 a month to have wallpaper on my phone,
that's kind of
$50
steep,
a year.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying a lot of them are just crappy. So I guess it's coming across as a cash grab. I've got millions of people following me on YouTube or any of my socials. Let me see if I can put something out there and make a quick buck.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's what he's doing or if he really believes this is a really great product, but he's definitely got a lot of people talking about him. Mm-hmm. You know what you need to do next?
Hot takes today. We got more hot takes coming.
I got a big hot take.
Let's go. Let's do this.
You as the co-CEO of PHP Architect, who runs a national PHP conference called PHPTek happening May 20th through the 22nd of 2025 in Chicago. You should be there. Mm-hmm. Tickets are on sale now. You having that role need to pick a fight with Cascadia PHP. Call them out now. I'll sit back. I'll sit back. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I'm the nice guy. I'm the nice guy. You got to pick a fight.
Hey, you jerks.
No, there's a big fight going on in the WordPress community right now. Matt Mullenweg I don't know if he's Automatic or if he's just WordPress.org.
Oh, that's a good question. I think he's Automatic, but you might be right. He might just be WordPress.org. I don't know.
Or WordPress.com. Whatever. Automatic is like an umbrella organization, has WordPress.org, which is the open source WordPress community. And then you have WordPress.com, which hosts WordPress sites for a fee, going after, I guess there's some sort of lawsuit between them and WP Engine, which also hosts WordPress sites. And it was a buzz in our Discord channel this morning. I woke up and I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of people talking about this. So there's going to be a lot of links coming in right now. So if you want to do a lot of reading on it, it's all over the place. There's actually a link to a PDF of the cease and desist letter sent from WP Engine to Automatic. Like, hey, you've got to stop this. And it sounds like such an ordeal for an open source software where I think they're threatening to withhold security updates. If I remember, if I've read that correctly. Which is ridiculous.
I had to blitz read this. John mentioned it, like I said, when he woke me up out of my coding, my little coding zone. He mentioned it to me. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I hadn't been looking at Discord. So I did a bunch of blitz reading on it. And I'm like, okay, this is nasty. I had actually seen the first mention of this was a X post from the Primeagen saying, what's going on with WordPress? Now, apparently all WP Engine plugins aren't updating. I'm like, why are you using WordPress, dude? I thought we just brought you over to the Laravel side. We didn't need you to go, full core deep into WordPress after that. So I didn't pay a lot of attention. And then when John had said something to me and shared some links, and I tried to read up on it, I'm like, this is crazy. So my understanding of what's happening, and I could be wrong, feel free to correct me. I only found out about this a couple hours ago, but WP Engine is a commercial organization. Like they're not open source. They barely contribute to the open source project as a whole. They're just a straight up commercial entity that is kind of playing off the WordPress logos and material and all that, where it's WordPress and Automatic feel like it creates enough confusion where they're overstepping the open source licensing of it and are asking for compensation, which they're entitled to based on the licensing model of WordPress, right? I forget, they're like the GNU2 license or something. And WP Engine is basically saying, yeah, no, pound sand, we're not paying anything. And it brings up an interesting question. This is an extreme case of it, but I mean, PHP, for example, right? Like, how many companies are making billions of dollars off of PHP who don't contribute back to the community? Now, they're not using the PHP mascot. They're not saying, oh, hey, our company's called PHP Farming or something like that. They're not infringing on any of that sort of marketing aspect of it. But like when I worked for the enterprise, this was always one of my bigger gripes. It's like, hey, we're using these things. We're supposed to be doing something for that community. And I would have a lot of back and forth with my managers and even at one point the CTO about these things. But it's a real, like, as a company who pays the PHP Foundation, which is not paying internals directly, but I think we can all kind of agree this is how internal developers, the best way to get internal developers paid. We pay to we make a donation to the PHP Foundation. We make donation, or we're sponsors of several PHP repos and projects, because we understand and we get that. But there are companies out there that make so much money. But this is even a little different because they really seem to kind of make the waters a little murky, especially if we understand inside our little bubble, like the differences in how this is not that. But like somebody on the outside, they don't know. They see WordPress in the title and the name. It's the engine of WordPress. It's WP Engine, for Christ's sake. So I really don't know who's right or wrong in this particular scenario, but I'm kind of leaning towards the open source project.
It's hard. Is it the again, not knowing all the legal battles that are going on? Is it WordPress? Is it the commercial entity of WordPress trying to restrict people and keep them in the WordPress ecosystem on their side versus the WP Engine? Or do they really feel WP Engine has done them wrong? Reading this one, WP Engine is banned, where, again, this is Matt Mullenweg's words, saying that WP Engine is disabling and locking down a WordPress core feature in order to extract profit. True or not, I don't know, but WP Engine isn't necessarily giving you WordPress hosting per se. They're giving you some sort of hosting, but it's not an open source version of it. They are making changes to it, from what I understand, on your behalf, and you have no control over that.
Yeah, I did read that in one of the blog posts from Matt. The versioning, specifically the versioning of like articles and things. So, yep,
it's interesting.
And here's why you want to be part of our Discord. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear this first.
No, it's the card you brought over that was shared in our Discord.
Oh, I haven't read it. I was bringing it over because you had it in the list.
So while all this is going on, of course, it's a big topic in our Discord. But Eric Mann, who is a big security guy, release manager of 8.3, I think, shared a blog post how to update WordPress themes and plugins on WP Engine without the repository. So there was already. I don't think this is needed anymore. I think they've already figured out another fix, but there is a workaround for it. This is, you gotta love the PHP community and how quick they come up with solutions. But yeah, so there is a workaround if this is something that's impacting you, which I don't think it really does impact anybody anymore. But there are fixes for it. If you look, it'll be in our show notes.
Fascinating. That was quick.
Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I meant to click this one.
Oh, it was quick to come out with that workaround, even if it was only for a short time.
Yeah. All right. What else we got to talk about? Are we picking fights? What are we doing here? Picking the blows?
Yeah, so obviously it was a joke about Cascading PHP. Eric and I will be there.
I don't find it funny. I don't like them.
In just a few weeks.
We will, yes. Why will we be there, John? Because I don't particularly care for the state of Oregon.
We're going to Portland. I'm actually going to be there for 10 days.
But do you have to be there? That's my question is, do you have to be there?
I have to be there because they have people speaking that I want to talk to. Oh, look at that guy. Yeah. I am on the struggle bus right now because I am trying to have like a verbs demo in addition to events sauce, which is the package I mainly use. Mm-hmm. And I'm having all sorts of troubles just getting pest tests to run properly. Right now I'm having a issue with a database connection and I don't know why. So I could use your help on that.
Okay.
It's like everything, I got past some of my other issues I was having and now it's like, there's no connection. I'm like, but I've got an env testing file here and why isn't this working? It's when it goes to do the refresh database.
Oh, dude. Oh, God. Don't even get me started on this. For PHP Roundtable, which I had been rewriting, and the rewrite is published. I think I talked about that last week. I published the rewrite of PHP Roundtable, but
you did. Yep.
I was doing the rewrite. I was trying to get pests running on that, and I totally blew away my development environment, like or the development database, because it did a refresh. I'm like, where's my data? And the hard part about it wouldn't have been that big of a deal because typically I would have just done a restore. The problem is I had to do all this massaging of data to make this new JSON structure I was using for social media handles, and I had to do all this. I ran it through Google Sheets so that it would do all this reformatting of the JSON and blah blah blah, and it was all gone. I was heartbroken. So yeah, I'll see what I can do, but yeah, I've struggled with pests myself as recently as a couple weeks ago. Oh shit! SoCal Kid reminded me.
Your Oregon Ducks hat.
I have a hat for a trip. SoCal Kid's partner was just up in Oregon, and of course, everybody who's even tangentially kind of related to us has to buy me a hat now, apparently. So yeah, I got an Oregon's duck hat here. It's not like the real duck hat. I don't even know what the hell does it say there. I can't read it backwards.
The Quack Attack.
The
University of the University of Oregon.
Yeah. Totally forgot about that. That would have been a good little lead-in. I even forgot to take the tag off. Tag's still on SoCal Kid, so that's how important that was to me. But I got it on now. That's what matters. Thanks for reminding me. I appreciate that. All right.
Already.
I think that was a good one, man. I feel like we went through our entire Trello board and everything.
We did.
I think that's good. All right. That's it. Are we going to record next week, or we want to try to figure out something fancy to do for 400? I mean, we haven't done it for any of the other hundreds. I don't know
We
why
did-
we would start.
we did for 50, right? Is that, or was that 100 when we had?
Oh,
all
maybe
those?
it was 100 where we had the other podcasters on. Is that
Yeah.
is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that was the one.
That would have been 6 years ago.
And I mean, to our props, we haven't gotten that many more followers since. Been pretty much hanging around the same amount of followers for the last 6 years. So
We're doing something right.
all right, we might record next week. We might not. Who knows?
You want to
We'll
thank
see,
our
but
patrons while you're talking?
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon.
Patrons on Patreon, yeah.
Yeah, Patreon on Patreon. Are you going to load? What's happening
It's loaded.
here? There we go.
It's loaded. I see it.
Mine didn't show.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. I gotta. This is it for this one, huh? I gotta do a new one for the next show for the big 400. I need to do a new one. You know what? We need to do something for the Patreon supporters who've been supporting us that entire time. I don't know. We need to fix it. I mean, we do special things for our supporters on Patreon. So I'm not saying we don't do anything special. Like we've given discounted tech tickets and all sorts of fun stuff. But yeah, we need to do something. We need to do something for 400. All right. I don't know. What else?
Some of our top supporters got something recently, and I don't think anyone ever posted anything in Discord about that. Just saying. Looking at you, Buttery.
I honestly don't remember what it was. Oh, was it what I think it is?
I don't know what you think it is, but probably.
Okay, I think I know what it was. We'll talk about it all. I don't want to say it in case it wasn't it. But if it's what I'm thinking, it was something nice. It was very nice. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something very nice. So yeah, Buttery, what's up, man? See, that's it. Buttery doesn't want to see anymore live because it's what time is it for him? It's early. He's not awake yet.
Oh.
All right. That's it. We're done. I'm not going through this again. We'll the 400th episode will probably be next week, but might not. We'll let you know. We'll keep you posted. That's it for this one, though. 399's in the books. I'm Eric.
And I'm John. Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet. Unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Hey, well,
There you go.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I'm just reading doom and gloom in our Discord, and yeah, anybody looking for a stand-up guy, A Woods is apparently on the market. You said you wrote about it more eloquently on my LinkedIn. You got a link there to your LinkedIn there, E Woods? Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, Corey just got laid off last month as well, which is horrifying because she was talking about her new position at Tech this year. It's still this year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just
At Tech,
starting it.
yeah, just starting her new position, and how excited she was, and got laid off. It sucks. Oh, yeah. So if you're not in a Discord, if you are in a Discord and you don't know, there are other channels. Doom and Gloom is one of the more popular ones, which used to be a segment on the show. There are also there's also a jobs board, some help please. Music also seems to get a lot of traction. So yeah, I don't bounce around to the other channels enough as I should.
Yeah, it's the same here.
Yeah. So yeah, there are other channels out there, everybody. I'd be
If you're
curious
hanging
if
out,
anybody found a job through our jobs channel. I'd like to know that. Thanks,
if
Ava.
there's anyone just tuning in, show's over. We're just hanging out, chatting at this point.
How's the bowling going?
We are in first place right now.
Oh, look at you.
We're 3 weeks in. It doesn't count. 3 weeks into 31 weeks of bowling. So,
Dude, Padres got a playoff berth off a triple play.
I saw that. It was crazy.
Jesus. Against the Dodgers, no less. Like, there's so much good about that. It's crazy.
I was so last night. I am now on the RPLL, the Rancho Penasquitos Little League board. I was at a board meeting last night, and one of our members is a Dodgers fan. And as we ended, the game was still playing. Actually, we were down 1-0 at the end of it, but everyone was saying, when we win this, everyone needs to text Mike and give him a hard time, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw on social media that triple play.
It's just so insane. And then my Orioles have clinched a playoff berth. I mean, I'm doing pretty good this year. If the Nationals had clinched one, but they didn't, they sucked. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my baseball postseason TV watching this year because there's going to be a lot of games I can watch.
Nice.
It was funny when I was in San Diego, I was frustrated because I could never watch the home Padre games. I mean, I could like on Hulu and stuff, but I like watching it on MLB because I could have multiple games open at once and everything. I couldn't watch the Padres, but I could watch the Dodgers and the Angels. And now I'm in the Dodgers market and I can't watch the Dodgers or the Angels home game, but I can watch all the Padre games now. So
Oh, really?
I don't know which one was better. I guess I think I liked it better when I couldn't watch the Padres because 9 times out of 10 it was on Hulu, right? I could go over to Hulu and watch it. The Dodgers and the Angels, like one of them won't be playing on any service that I have that I can watch. Like it always seems like always like that. Like I'm going to miss one of their games, and most times it's the Dodgers. I think is what I don't watch a lot of. So not that I need it all that much, but it's just fun to have. The Angels didn't do that great this year either. Wow, Athletics finished above them actually. Ugh, that's not good. Yeah, kind of a Phillies fan too because it's got Harper on it and Turner, both ex-Nationals. Yeah, gonna be a good postseason. I'm looking forward to it. All right.
I didn't know you. Can you?
Hey Woods, go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it.
Hey Woods suggested a title that it was going to be my fallback title, which was WP Drama. But Haywood's is back at the title game. Like
I don't know. Sarah had some good ones.
he stumbled for a while. Oh, did she have some good ones today? She was. I don't think she was on last week. He was walked away with it. I have to take a look. Let me pull that up while you were talking.
I like the "you will submit" a little Jedi mind trick. You will submit to tech.
TJ Miller, if you're listening, my buddy TJ, which he's probably not. He's got a new job now as well. Speaking of new jobs, I fixed my Telegram bot, so it only posted the show one time as opposed to once every 15 minutes.
Caesar has WarPress. WarPress sounds good.
WordPress. Oh, that is actually really good. I like that one. That might end up being it. Let me see. I need titles. I need to cancel. I'll keep that one going. I don't do this one anymore. Let's see what we have here. We've had a lot of talk in Discord as well around TMUX and the TMUX alternatives out there.
Oh, yeah. That's what you said. I'm going to talk about it on this week's show, and we didn't talk about it at all.
Oh shit!
Isn't that what you were talking about?
What's that?
Where you said
no.
talk about that this week?
It was the Caleb stuff. Flux, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was the Flux stuff. Is what I said I was going to talk about on the show.
Oh, see, that is what happened. If you go back to September 24th, this is when all the Matt Mullenweg stuff started happening. And there was a lot of back and forth. And then you wrote at 4:12, I will be discussing first impressions on the show this week. I thought you meant first impressions of the WordPress drama. You didn't reply to anything, so I don't know what that was in reference to.
I thought I wrote that directly underneath. Maybe I did. So it's on the 24th.
Yeah.
I believe you, but
At
I don't know.
Yeah.
I will be discussing. Oh, ever looked at 10,000 lines of code? My point. Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't do a reply. I've been trying to get better at the replies.
Yeah. So that's why I assumed you had seen the WordPress stuff.
You know what? Wait a minute. Where's the Flux conversation? Was that on a different channel? Yeah, see, sometimes I reply with shit on my phone and I think I'm in the right channel and I'm not. Huh, weird. Yeah.
Don't know.
Sliding into your new feed. That's awesome. SDK killer is actually pretty good. Definitely the submission. WordPress. I'm liking the WordPress. WarPress. Write once, read never. Let's see. That was last week. Got 399 problems in WordPress 8.1. That's good. Try catch or not to try catch. Fluxing up. Another good one. Another A-Woods one. All right. I'm between Fluxing up and WordPress. I think I'm going with WordPress. I don't think he's ever done a title for us before. WordPress it is. That's our title this week. WordPress.
Thank you, Caesar.
Thank you, Caesar. I just like to kick A-Woods while he's down. Sorry.
So he took our suggestion for submitting to conferences of submit more than one. It way off the charts when it comes to title submissions. You submit more than one, you have a good chance of being selected.
All right.
And with that, I should probably go get myself ready to throw some balls.
Do you polish your balls before you throw them, or do you just
I always
raw dog in it?
Always polish them and grab them really tight.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, cool. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Been a fantastic one. Great show. Looking forward to 400.